Hello, this is Enigmas and Answers, where we discuss, debate, and diagnose our beloved childhood games. Today we recall our adventures in Pokemon Red and Blue, where we play as Red, not Ash. This kid. Not that one. This one. Not him. So forget that amazing anime of the late 90s whose theme song will forever remain in our heads, where Pokemon only faint, friendship makes up for any level or ability difference, and the kids never age. Instead, we're focusing on Pokemon Red and Blue, Pokemon Adventures manga, to see what is wrong with Red. That's right, behind that silent, innocent face is a dark secret. But first, let us look at the importance of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Pokemon Adventures. First released in Japan as Pokemon Red and Green in 1996, it was later released in the US as Pokemon Red and Blue. Pokemon Adventures was released in 1997 and is based off the adventures of Red in the Pokemon video games. Therefore, we are counting both as canon. However, due to the limitations of being a Game Boy game and the limited information the game gives, we will take precedence of the manga over the games. So first things first, to set our foundation. Pokemon can die. I know, this never happens in any game. It's always that they fainted, but that's only because they wouldn't be able to sell the game if every time you used Flamethrower on a Caterpie, it said Caterpie roasted. Or when you used Slash on a Pidgey, it said Pidgey died. No kid would, or at least should, be allowed to buy a game like that. Instead, here we go to the manga, and let me tell you, they don't pull punches. In Chapter 5, Red battles through the prelims and eventually faces Brock for his first badge. In his first fight, his Poliwhirl freezes a Graveler, which then shatters. Shatters! I mean, look at this. This Graveler is literally in 1,000 pieces. Its head has even been shattered. You see its eyes? Those are X's, not swirls. So I'm sorry, but no Revive Potion or Pokemon Center are bringing that Graveler back to life. Similarly, when Red's Pikachu fights Brock's Onix, its Thunderbolt explodes the Onix. That's right, that Onix is in multiple pieces, or boulders. Either way, it's not alive. Once again shown in its eyes being solid white, no swirls there. And if you're still in doubt, then I'd like to show you Red's adventure in Lavender Town. In Chapter 14 of the manga, not only do you visit the graves of dead Pokemon, but you see rotting corpses and an Arbok decapitated. That's right, you see his spine and everything. Therefore, we can say without a doubt that not only can Pokemon die, but they constantly do die in battles, and that their attacks are as deadly as they look. Now that we have established what this world is like, let us take a look at Red. First appearances show him to be a normal 10-year-old boy who just wants to become a Pokemon trainer, who raises and cares for his Pokemon and sets out by himself to catch them all and become the very best. And that right there are our first two signs, or symptoms: isolation and self-endangering activities. In this scenario, isolation is pretty mild as he does travel to towns and seems to have normal interactions with other people. But in the original game manual, it says that Red was friends with Blue as a younger child until Blue stopped playing with Red and became a bully. So between leaving on his own, never retaining a companion for long, never contacting family or friends, this is isolation. Next, there is self-harming activities, which is pretty apparent due to the Pokemon's natures, but what qualifies this as a symptom is the fact that Red ignores that these dangers exist. He is constantly throwing himself into these situations, not with fear, but excitement. So what does it mean if you isolate yourself and engage in self-harming or endangering activities? Maybe post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. With a little backstory on his childhood, a friend who became a bully, and a non-existent father, seems like some traumatic event could have made him isolated, only taking comfort in Pokemon and subconsciously blaming himself and hence punishing himself by living a dangerous life. Well, not quite. While PTSD symptoms do include staying away from a place, i.e. Red's home, having difficulty sleeping, which he never seems to do, and trouble remembering key features of a traumatic event, plausible considering his childhood is hidden, Red lacks any re-experiencing symptoms, which is a requirement for the disorder. Re-experiencing symptoms include flashbacks, bad dreams, or frightening thoughts, none of which Red has at any time. So let's take another look at Red. Hates losing, gets really angry to the point of violence, gets elated over little things. Sounds like Red has some intense mood swings. I mean, he tries to hit Blue, and he's overly happy most of the time in the manga. But that alone doesn't mean anything. Red could be considered delusional, though, thinking that him and his Pokemon are invincible, or that electricity can beat a rock. Okay, it did, but it really shouldn't have. Or the fact that he can basically do whatever he wants throughout the games. Maybe schizophrenia. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, or NIM, schizophrenia usually starts between the ages of 16 to 30, but in rare cases it has been found in kids. Schizophrenia is also broken into 3 categories: positive, negative, and cognitive. Delusions are a sign of a positive symptom, yet rarely do physically healthy individuals have positive symptoms. And Red does not possess any other symptoms, so considering Red is healthy enough to venture out on his own, it's highly unlikely that this is the case. Okay, so maybe Red is right. He doesn't have PTSD, and it doesn't seem like he has schizophrenia. So he has mood swings, engages in dangerous activities, is somewhat delusional in that he does whatever he wants. He cares for his Pokemon, yet makes them fight. So he thinks he's able to stop a criminal organization, and he has no idea how lucky he is how that turned out. I mean, they should have been able to kill him at any time, because criminal organization, they have guns. I don't care how strong a Pokemon is, we already showed that they can die. Red should have been dead. On top of that, Red never seems to sleep or relax. So what does all this mean? It means that Red is bipolar. That's right, he's type 1 bipolar. And to be exact, Red suffers from type 1 bipolar with manic episodes. Don't believe me? The American Psychiatric Association in 2000 defined a manic episode as abnormally and persistently elevated, expansive, or irritable mood that must be present for at least 1 week. NIM similarly defines bipolar 1 disorder as defined by manic episodes that last at least 7 days, or by manic symptoms that are so severe that a person needs immediate hospital care. Depression is also common but not required. So then our next question is, what is a manic episode? Here we have a posted list of all the manic symptoms. Red symptoms include overly happy and outgoing, extreme irritability, increased activities, overly reckless, sleeps little, and has an unrealistic belief in his abilities. That right there fits 6 of those 8 possible symptoms. So let's recap. Red is reckless. He puts himself and his Pokemon in danger without any regard of said danger until it's upon them, has no remorse for the Pokemon he's defeated in battle. In fact, he either steals money from the trainer he's defeated, or they both gambled on it to begin with. He is active and restless, and very irritable when he loses or is mocked by Blue. He's delusional, thinking of himself as unstoppable. Red is bipolar. Think about that the next time you pick up that old Game Boy to relive your childhood.